results.
Have you ever felt like throughout the work week, your work seems to diminish? If not, maybe you find yourself dreading going into work the last few days of the week. But we can all agree on one thing: the weekend feels like it flies by. We have personal responsibilities to take care of, like cleaning the house, doing laundry, going to the grocery store, taking kids to a sporting event, or running them around town. But we also want some downtime to relax and do something fun. What if this wasn't the case? What if we structured the work week differently than the standard 5-day work week, where we didn't feel like the weekend passes by, so we can get everything done in our personal lives before we have to go back to work to start a new week? We can find good work and personal life balance. What if instead of working for 5 days straight with no break, we restructure the work week to let everyone get the time and rest they need? We can provide different flex schedule options to employees that will work for them and the employer. Ever since I heard about my mom having a 4-day work week bi-weekly, I started to get a little jealous. I thought to myself, why do some people get an extra day off, but most people have to work the entirety of the week? This has been debated about for decades in the US, and I'm certainly not the first person to explore this topic in detail. Other countries give their employees more time off than we do. Ever since COVID, employees are finding candidates are wanting and demanding more flexibility, including working from home, hybrid working schedules, which allows people to work from both in-home and in the office, flexible schedules, and even more. First, I'm going to explain what's wrong with the work week and why that I feel this may be detrimental to the mental health of workers. Next, I'm going to explain how these problems can be fixed. And finally, I will talk about what the future could look like if we implement these changes. The problem with the standard 5-day work week is the fact that many people lose motivation the longer they work. They become less productive and become anxious about all their unattended personal obligations and needing some rest. Jennifer Moss, who ran a study on the effects of a 5-day work week, reported that 62% of respondents were experiencing burnout often. Some of you may be wondering, what is burnout? Why is it so bad? Burnout, by definition, is a form of exhaustion caused by an excessive or prolonged amount of mental, physical, and emotional stress. There's multiple kinds of burnout. First, there's overload burnout, which is caused by wanting to be and feel successful in your life and or job. Second, there's under-challenge burnout, which is a result of not feeling challenged enough or bored at your current job and you feel like you have no place to grow. Next, there's neglect burnout, which is caused by slight problems in your current task or workplace, which makes you feel incompetent and not up for the task. If you're burned out, no matter what kind it is, you may not be able to put your full effort into your work, which could cause mistakes and more stress throughout the week. If you keep working while you're burned out, it may have some detrimental effects on you, like less sleep, harsh feeling towards your job, regret about missing or failing personal obligations, stress about what isn't getting done, which causes even more stress, anxiety, and burnout. And all of these also affect mental health and well-being. If we let stress take over our lives, we may be putting ourselves in danger of being disciplined, fired, or even in physical danger because either our production drops or our health does. In Japan, they actually have a word to describe death or stress, or death by stress or depression by overworking, which is called karoshi. Even though most of us have gotten used to the standard 5-day, 40-hour work week, it doesn't mean that we have to stick to this norm. If we challenge the work week to help people have less days in a row they have to work, it can have a positive effect on burnout. Instead of the standard Monday through Friday format we have now, like so, as we have Saturday and Sunday off for the weekend, and then once we start on Monday, we have our full energy and we're ready to go through the work week. As we go through, we start to lose energy, and by Friday, well, we're not wanting to work by then. But if we changed our work week, say if we have Wednesday off, then Monday and Tuesday we can have enough energy to get through, the work week or the personal obligations we have, while having Wednesday off to rejuvenate ourselves. And then Thursday and Friday, we have the same amount of energy as we did Monday or Tuesday. Another way we can restructure this is by taking Monday or Friday. Although this isn't as effective as the other work schedule, this also could work because by either Thursday or Friday, depending on which day you take off, it could be, you could have more energy throughout the week if you have more days off of rest. This allows people to have 2 full days of work, then a small break, which helps retain energy throughout the week. But this is also a strategy that is often used for studying and retaining information as well. According to 4-Day Week Global, who ran a study across the UK and Ireland implementing these 4-day work weeks, not only did production greatly increase, but morality and retention as well. From the same study, around a third of the participants said that they would need a significant pay raise to return to a 5-day work week, and another 14% that no amount of money would convince them to go back. How do we integrate these work weeks into our daily lives? How do we know if employees even want to go to a 4-day work week? Employers can take a poll company-wide to see if employees would be willing to try out the 4-day work week and then change people's schedules accordingly. As a part-time worker in college, I've actually had some experience with a very erratic schedule with days of rest in between. I found myself not only more productive at my job, but with studies as well. Some might advocate that instead of having Wednesday off, we should take Monday or Friday off instead. Like I said, this wouldn't be as practical because it would be more sections of work time where we would have to use more energy. Another way we can schedule employees during the week is a self-selecting schedule. Are there certain days you can't work? Can you work during the weekend? We can implement a kind of schedule where employees can pick out certain days of the month on a first-come, first-served basis. Like so. The yellow days are your days. These are the days you pick to work, and you have to go in if you pick them. The red days are days that other people have picked before you, meaning you can't work these days because somebody else has picked up the shift. The white squares mean that anybody can pick those up at any point. Another common way of scheduling is per diem. This basically means you're on call and may not need to work the entire day or even certain days out of the week. It's more of a by-the-job scheduling. Nurses also utilize this type of scheduling because if someone does, and eventually will, call off, they can call the people on per diem and see if they can come in and cover the person that's sick. The last different type of scheduling goes by different names, the most common of which is core scheduling. This basically means that during the week, you have a certain amount of hours to work, and it doesn't matter when you go in or when you go out, you just have to work those certain amount of hours. What would happen if employers actually did integrate these new work weeks? A lot of work-related stress issues would diminish. People would be less likely to feel that they wasted their weekend, and it would allow people to get more rest, which is one of the most important things for the human body. I believe that not only would it be beneficial for employees, but employers as well. If your employees are being more productive while they're at work, then you'll be able to profit more because of it. If we didn't implement these changes, however, I feel like people would have a harder time to find a reason to come back to work, use sick days to get away from the environment, have more stress on their plate, and be more prone to burnout. This can cause employees to become more stressed, which can cause headaches, stomach issues, or even trouble sleeping. And in even more serious cases, it could cause anxiety or even immune system problems. Since these problems are so severe, why shouldn't we try this new work week? It would allow people to become more productive, healthy, and it allows people to save their sick and vacation days since they wouldn't have to use them to recover from burnout.